Hello, this is Gio, and this is the underneath of a kitchen sink. You can see the garbage disposal right here, the P-trap right here. There's two sinks, so there's one drain here, and one drain comes from the garbage disposal. But I've been having a fair amount of issues with this this plumbing here. One is back here. It tends to get clogged up right at the old pipe joint here. I'm not sure if I can fix that today, but that's one problem. Maybe I can improve that a little bit. But another issue is when it does get plugged up back there, the water of course backs up into the sink. However, these pipe configurations are such that they're very poorly connected. You know, there, and especially there and there. And these joints tend to come out and pop out, and I get leakage here. Instead of it just backing up in the sink, it backs up in the sink and also leaks down here. I'd much rather just see it back up in the sink rather than having a huge mess down here. So I'm gonna tear this all apart, maybe save a couple parts, maybe the P-trap here, but kind of reconfigure this, make sure all the joints are tight, and I'll show you how to do that next. So the first thing I did was just buy a bunch of PVC pipe to start replacing the old pipe. We have some stainless steel, but I'm going to basically get rid of that. Stainless steel is quite a bit more expensive than plastic pipe, so I'm just going to replace everything with plastic pipe. And so I have various amounts of connectors, some compression, compression washers here. This is this one kind goes over just a straight edge, and this kind of compression washer goes over these kind of ends. So I have those. I have some tools. There you go. I have just a saw so I can cut the pieces in size. And so we're first gonna just tear this existing configuration apart. So as I tear this apart, I want you to pay attention to this joint and this joint. Again, these don't the pipe does not extend that far into here, and so it's very hard to get this connected properly. Also here, the pipe pretty much ends right there, and so this connection is very weak and pops out. Also, if you see this pipe here, it's not really straight. This is not long enough, so this P-trap really needs to be curved a little bit this way to keep this pipe straight. So I want to attach a longer pipe here so this could remain straight, and so maybe the plugging blockage at that end won't be as severe in the future. Now I don't have an existing blockage, so the sink's not full of water, so technically the only water that's in the system should be in the P-trap right here. I do have a pan down here to catch the water, so I'm just gonna, I think I could do this by hand. I'm just gonna loosen this up carefully, just like that. And you could see this old compression washer here, which is very similar to this. Basically, this ring, when tightened, it presses this washer down and makes the seal. So when I do this lower one here, water should start bubbling up. And then just wiggle it out gently. And you just saw right there, look at that. That's barely connected, and it really doesn't have enough pipe. And that's one of the problems I want to solve. And so there is a little bit of material in here, but I'll just put that down. And so zooming up here, you saw the problem. This can barely grip here because this section of pipe is not long enough. Also right here it's not long enough, and you can see it wiggling out. And if I take this off, you can see how short the pipe is. And so I'm just going to take that out, and here's the compression washer. So I'm going to take that out. Actually, it's already broken, part of the problem. When the garbage disposal runs, this kind of vibrates, and so that's one of the problems as well. Now for this metal pipe, I'm gonna see if I can do this. This might be pretty tight on here, so I'll just use some
and the pipe just totally broke on me.
So y'all were seeing I was having a little bit of problems, and in fact the strainer, the threaded component of the strainer, just went ahead and broke off. You could see right here, I think you saw the locking nut that was here just corroded, broke off. The slip nut here was just corroded so much it just, as I was trying to take that off, it just broke the threads of the strainer. And I had to actually go get a new strainer. That wasn't really my intent for this video, so I made another video to show you how I installed that, and go ahead and check that out. But I'll continue with my pipe work from here. So I do want to take this pipe that's attached to the garbage disposal off, but before I do that, this is kind of a nice straight line to figure out where my little T-joint should go. So this is going to be connected to here. I'm going to have a new pipe coming down from the strainer down to here. So I want to make sure that this piece right here is going to be long enough. So I'm going to just loosely undo this T right here, take the little compression washer off, and just kind of slip it at the end. Now it's going to come in a little bit farther, but again, I'm just trying to fit things on. So take that off, the compression joint. And so when this actually comes in, there's a little bit of a bevel here that actually catches the end of this pipe. So you could push this in down to that level, and that is probably about an inch down. So it's probably just at the end of these threads. So I'm going to measure based on the threads themselves. But first I'm just going to attach this to the end of the strainer here. I have my little slip nut. I put the slip nut over the end of the pipe just like that. Put this little capping washer just like that, and I'll seal the pipe, and I'll just tighten this up. Not too tight because I'm going to be removing it, so I can cut the piece off just like that. I'm going to come down here, figure out how this fits in place, and just kind of eyeball it about the length I need. So I went ahead and made the cut. I'm going to clean off all these barbs, kind of so it's a smooth. So with the piece reattached, I'm going to go ahead and connect the T to make sure that it fits properly. Put the slip nut over, and then the compression washer. So this makes sure that the bevel is facing down or towards the threads. So I'm going to install the T. Now I'm going to slip this over. Originally, with the original T, this portion is actually shorter and barely fit onto this. But now, and I was going to replace this with a longer piece, but now with this new joint, it looks like it actually may fit perfectly. So I slip that over, and it actually has a lot of room. So when I slip this over, there's at least probably about that much. So it should work much better than the other one. So I want to make sure that this fits. So I slip that up. I push the washer down, tighten this up, so this should be able to fit. And I think this one should work now with this different joint. So let me go ahead and put a new washer over this one, just like that. Like that. Push it back a little bit, fit it in, fit this one in, and then make sure that it's in good. And so I could hand tighten that, and then hand tighten this old one. Actually, I should clean this off, but just for now, tighten it up. And so with these two tight, I think this joint will no longer slip out and cause some leaks. So I'll go ahead and start rebuilding the rest of it. So now I'm gonna focus on this connection back here. Now this little slip nut is pretty well stuck. It does have a little washer here, but it's pretty grimy. So I'm gonna grab a wrench and see if I can get this thing off. Might break, but we'll give it a shot. So I had to indeed break it off to get this thing off. So this is pretty grody, and this is kind of where I'm getting my plug issues. Not at this joint, but actually farther in. I don't know if I can deal with that right now, but I'm going to try to clean this off as much as possible so I can get a pipe in here and put a new nut with a washer in there to hopefully hold it in place well. So I did get a little bit cleaner. I used some steel wool on it. It still looks pretty grody, but I think it'll just have to do for now. So what I'm gonna do right now is just kind of connect my my P-trap with this little elbow piece that was sticking out right here and kind of see how things fit. So I'm just gonna stick that there. Just loosely tighten it on, just keeping it loose. And I just want to see how everything fits together. So this will stick here, and yeah, I think this piece needs to be a little longer, and I do have a longer substitute piece. So because I kind of want this to be long enough, so this piece, this is straight, and this piece comes straight down, and I'm gonna have to put a little bit of a extension piece right here, so this will fit into place. So I did cut another extension piece, slip it in here. It kind of goes in fair ways, and so it's at least in that far. That's pretty good, and this will allow this section here to be straight. And so I'm just gonna grab another extension of pipe, cut a little bit of short extension right here, and attach that to that part. So I take a section of pipe, I just kind of stick it up as far as I can go into the joint here, and then I kind of use this as my guide about where I want it. Make sure it's generally straight, and then mark where you want it to be. Okay, with my little piece cut to size, gonna see if everything fits. So I put that in, and I put that in, and that is about, you know, pull it out just slightly, and that's about the size I want. So I'll go ahead and stick all these components together. So I want to put a nut with a washer on that piece, put two nuts with washers here. So I'm gonna stick this back in, and you want everything kind of loose initially, just so you make sure that everything fits together well. So with everything about where I want it, that's when you start tightening everything up, and try to just do it hand tight. Okay, there you go. Brand new pipes. They all connect really well. Shouldn't have any more leaking problems down at these two joints. So I hope this helped you out. Hope you feel comfortable about doing this yourself. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.